most of this is really solid, and it's honestly the best practical advice I've seen. Hand drills will get results, but a couple points seem really wonky. I'm struggling to believe associations will work. Why? Because you have never tried it before. So you've never done it, and you struggle to believe it will work, even if people use them all the time successfully. Maybe you should try them and practice for a while until you get good at them. For a start, learning a word is much more complex than merely memorizing it. According to who? Learning a word means knowing the word. And yes, some words can have different meanings, different contexts, and all that. But that doesn't mean that if you learn that dog is perro in Spanish, and you associate it, and you create association, and you remember the word, that doesn't mean you don't know the word. Yeah, maybe you can use perro in some other context at some point, and it doesn't mean that you don't know the word. It depends on the language similarity to your native one or grammatically simple language. I don't see a way around thousands of hours of exposure. Okay. Yeah, there are different types of vocab, right? And I talk about this all the time. There are cognates. These are words that are similar to the same word in languages you already speak, right? Yeah. Organization is organización in Spanish. You see it, you don't need to create an association or anything. You can remember it. You can instantly recognize it. That's a cognate. And the more similar the languages are, the more of those you'll have, and the less you'll have to learn. That makes sense. Yeah, but that doesn't mean that associations aren't useful for other vocabulary. So there will be other words that are not similar at all to the ones that you already know. Yeah, and for that, you can either see them in context over and over and over again, on average 10 or 12 times to remember the word, or you can create an association. And if you create an association, the second time you see it in context, you already remember it. Most of it, if you associate them correctly. That's what associations are for. Yeah. So the more different the language is, the fewer cognates there are, the more useful associations will be. And if you don't believe in them, it's because you haven't tried, you don't know what you're talking about. That's it. And finally, I don't see a way around thousands of hours of exposure and for your mind to get used to the nature of another language. Okay. Thousands of hours of exposure. Yeah, you need a lot of input and a lot of listening and all that, but there are ways to make it faster, and that's what we're doing here. And if you're not even going to try the techniques to make all the input to accelerate the process, why are you even here?